So this is not a guarantee. It's not a guarantee at all.
Nope.
However, I think it is very, very, very possible given what I'm seeing here on Twitter when it comes to this being leaked, quote unquote leaked, and I like what I'm seeing. Because I think Oda has been communicating, in this arc in particular, more and more with Toei Animation about certain things that he hasn't put in the manga that now are in the anime. I think he's been doing that time and time again. I think of the gambling scene with Zoro. I think of Sanji and Page when completing. Ashidoji and his boys against Hold'em and his boys, and how we see Hold'em set the entire mountain of Atamayama ablaze. There are certain things that I've been saying time and time again that I think Oda has been telling Toei Animation, do this or do that and do that, because in the current arc again, Oda has been skipping a lot of material. A lot of material. Now, it was revealed on Twitter, the Odin Flashback will start during the month of February 2021. And then he follows up with a staff quote. When drawing a battle in the anime that did not appear in the manga, we will make sure we have Oda's approval and we will express it and merge it with the manga content as much as possible. This is directly tying Ichiro Oda to Toei Animation fights, to anime fights that we haven't seen in the manga now appear in the anime. So arguably speaking, a lot of the fights that we didn't see in the manga, once again, Gyukimaru versus Zoro Part 2, Sanji versus Drake, even when Zoro got lost, even though he was on the Koma Inu, and then we have Zoro fighting against some random tiger. You can arguably speaking that Toei Animation, they got Oda's approval to create these extended fight scenes. Now, does it apply for every fight in the anime? Of course not. Obviously, there are certain fights where we can't say these are complete filler fights. For example, the bear guy that Luffy used like Ryo arguably first against. That's probably all filler. However, again, certain things that were skipped in the manga or fights that weren't concluded in the manga, you can argue to finish these things appropriately, Oda gave them approval. Now, there's also another take on this whole thing by a French lad by the name of Kamal and Kita, Le Monde Curvo, a French lad. So he says, Ichiro Oda a donné son accord à la Toei. That's not important, actually.
Oui.
Let's not. Let's not get to that. Yo, parlez-vous français? No. Oh, no. Absolutely not. Let's transition over to good old English, the good old American.
Oh, hell yeah, brother, yeah.
Yes. Ichiro Oda has agreed to Toei Animation to extend the legendary fights that will take place in animated during Odin Kozuki Flashback in February 2021. And again, of course, not guaranteed, obviously, but this is very possible because we've seen it time and time again through the entire Wano country. We're going to be getting extended fight scenes during particular battles of the Odin Flashback. Now, particularly in the French original source, they say Le Combat Légendaire, which notes to, again, the legendary fights specifically. So, in this case, of course, what comes to mind first and foremost, obviously, is Roger versus Whitebeard. I am salivating just how we had an extended fight scene for Big Mom versus Kaido, which was a very dope fight scene, Dragon Ball Z-like, with Big Mom and Kaido dashing all over the place, giant shockwaves, Elbaf speed, Raime Haka. It was so damn dope. And Toei Animation, we thank you for that. And they must have realized, okay, fine, listen. Even though Big Mom and Kaido was crazy, we have an upcoming fight in Roger and Whitebeard that's going to be absolutely, potentially phenomenal. Now, we know that Odin's a part of that fight as well, but at the same time, he gets blown back by one attack by Roger. So it could be the case where instead of, let's say, one attack by Roger, then Odin's out of the picture, it could be the case where we do see a little bit more of a Odin versus Roger situation, and then he gets blown back, and then we have Roger versus Whitebeard like it was in the manga. But what I would prefer, absolutely, is getting Odin out of the way and having way more, specifically Roger versus Whitebeard. That's what I want the most. Whether they're going to have several different clashes and then the massive oh my god clash, or it's going to be the oh my god clash and then we have several different exchanges between Roger and Whitebeard. Like, for example, because the battle lasts for a few days and it's all off screen, we could see a little more of that where we do see, let's say, let's say we do see Marco and Jozu against Shanks and Buggy, and also we see a little bit of Blackbeard, a young Blackbeard versus a young Shanks. That'd be freaking dope. And then let's say we do see a Vista versus Scarpagaban, or hopefully what we didn't see at all, and folks have been theorizing that this probably did happen, but again, we don't know. What if we actually did get to see in the anime some of Rayleigh versus Oden? Woo!
Showtime!
Man, the possibilities for this upcoming fight between the Roger Pirates and the Whitebeard Pirates in the Odin Flashback are tremendous. And based on these tweets, again, not confirmed, it's possible, very possible, that we're going to be getting extended fight scenes at the bare minimum between Roger and Whitebeard. Now again, it could be Roger and Oden. We get a little more of that before the actual Whitebeard and Roger clash. Also very possible too is that we do get extended fight scenes of the Odin versus Whitebeard when Whitebeard and company, when they first land on shore. So they could actually give Odin and Whitebeard a genuine fight. Also, very possible, very likely, is that we get the full fight between Oden versus, well, maybe not the full fight, but Oden versus Ashura Doji and cohorts. When they're solo. Even in the anime already, we've seen more compared to the manga. Unironically, we've seen more of Ashura Doji versus Oden in the anime without the flashback that we have in the actual canon manga. So again, the anime so far has been showing a lot more compared to the manga, which is why in an overall sense, the anime is superior than the manga.
True, and yeah, that's pretty true.
It's all filler, quote unquote, but it's extreme. I'd argue, in most cases, it's extremely necessary filler. Absolutely. Even though they get things wrong at times, or things are very weird at times, like, again, Batman is like the prime example, but the fact of the matter is that when things were skipped in the manga, like, again, Zoro just randomly leaving to go somewhere, even though he was on the Koma Inu, in the anime, they fill it in. For the most part. There are some exceptions where it's still skipped regardless in both anime and manga. Like, for example, when Kid escapes the prison, that is wholesale skipped. When recently we have Law and the Cell when he ambushed Hawkins, that whole thing is skipped. Unfortunately, both anime and manga. But still, for the most part, the anime shows them a lot more compared to the manga. That is without question, and that, in my mind, makes the anime just superior flat out than the manga. Also, another important fight that I want to see in the flashback that gets a little more love, absolutely, is the Oden versus Kaido flashback come the end of that flashback. Yes, because before we have the Paradise Totoka, we do see Oden scratched up, beat up, and we don't see how that happened. It's assumed that it was like one blast breath maybe, but it's not clear at all in the manga. So hopefully the anime, and they probably will, clear it up to where, okay, we see more of a fight between Oden and Kaido, and we see Kaido just being dominant, and then Oden has that phenomenal legendary shot with the Paradise Totoka, then boom. So again, I'm looking forward tremendously to the Odin flashback in the anime. Right now, in the anime, we are nearing the end of Act 2. They're gonna have, in between Act 2 and Act 3, content, obviously, which is gonna be good. Yes, that's gonna be very good. Huge, thick, bounty reveals.
Damn, boy, he's thick!
Which of course includes the Rocks pirate stuff that Sengoku was talking about. So we are... there's a lot of good things coming from the anime. Absolutely. So, once again, I like I'm seeing there when it comes to this news. Let me know your stance on the subject matter at hand in the comment section down below. I'm gonna see y'all later. Take care. Peace out. Have a nice one.